Thank you for purchasing your Viking Sauna. This is what the finished version of the Leif model looks like. I hope you enjoy. These are the parts you'll get in your shipment. We just want to take a second to identify each one so you know what you're receiving. The first things we have here are the 3 cradles made out of pressure treated wood. It protects from water, and this is what your sauna will sit on. Then we see the front panel. It has the door and the smaller part. You'll see the front panel with the door and the small part. You'll have to put those 2 sections together and screw it in. And as we move along, you'll see the back panel. There's 2 sections to this as well. You'll have to tap it together and screw it in so it becomes one piece. As we keep moving along, you'll see the floor panel here. This is what sits on those cradles you saw at the beginning. And then here at the end, we have the bench and the step. Now let's take a look at our wall panels. We have 4 of them here, and note one of them has the hole for the vent. Keep that in mind for later. As we move on, we have the roof staves. You'll see here they're 2x6 boards. You'll use those for the roofs. We have the 2x4 corner staves. Those are all for all 4 corners. And then we move to this center roof piece. It has a piece that is 1.5 inches, and you'll have to cut the other piece to match the center piece in the roof. And then you'll see here we have our trim boards, the straight, and the trim boards for all the corners. In addition to all these materials we went over, we have our included parts, screws, and tools. You'll see here we have our vent cover, 2 black vents with the screws for those. We have panel nails that will go for the roof and for the vent cover. And then you see 2 boxes of screws, 1 brown, 1 yellow. And then you'll see 2 screws, bigger screws for the handle. And then as we move on to the tools, these are the ones that you'll need to complete this. You'll need a drill, a rubber mallet, normal hammer, and a skill saw of some sort. Lastly, we have our beveled roof boards and our underlayment. The underlayment is what really protects the sauna from all of the elements. All right, first thing to get started, you're gonna lay out all 3 cradles. And then you're going to grab the floorboard, set it on top, and I'll show you the measurements. Notice you'll see this piece in the middle of the floorboards. Make sure it doesn't sit on the cradle, but next to it. Once the floor panel is on the cradles, we're going to start at the front and measure 7 inches from the cradle to the front. Then once it is good, you'll measure each side and make sure it's the same length.
What do you have?
2 3/4.
I'm at 2.
2, so I'll hit it over. So you'll see we're both at 2 3/8 on the sides. And then make sure you double check the front measurement. Make sure the cradle to the front is still at 7 inches on both sides. So once you double and triple check this measurement and the side measurement, you'll start screwing this board down into the cradle. Make sure it's on this very outer board of the cradle. And you'll do the same thing with the back cradle. Make sure the measurement is double and triple checked, and then screw it in each panel to the outside board of the cradle. Pretty powerful. Once you have the front and back cradle secured, you'll flip it up, move the middle cradle against this support, and then you'll screw in from the pilot bits on this side into the cradle. Once you have it screwed in on the bottom, you'll take 2 screws on this very outer edge board and screw it in to each board in the cradle. Your front and back panels will come in 2 separate pieces for ease of shipping. So when we start on the front panel, you'll have to take this piece, hit it into this front panel with the door, and then screw it in on the top, bottom, and then on the side. Okay, now we're going to assemble the back 2 wall panels. When you hit them together, you'll do the same thing, screwing it in the top and bottom, and then you'll see these boards, anyone with a hole without a screw, you'll take the brown screws and screw it in. Now that you have the front wall and back wall assembled, you'll take each one, the front wall with the inside handle facing inside, obviously, with the hinges out. You'll put it in the front groove slot. Someone will hold it. The other person will grab the back wall panel and put it in this back groove slot. Once you have them up, you'll have somebody hold both while you grab roof staves. And then you'll take each stave, put 2 on top, and then 2 on the side screwed in, and that will hold the walls in place while you start finishing the rest. All right, now that this is secure, you want to make sure that the front and back wall is centered. So you'll look on each side at this curved board and where it meets the bottom floor, and make sure it's the same on the other side as well. Once your front and back panels are aligned, centered, you'll now attach the bottom corner staves. It's these 2x4s, and you'll put them in each groove of the front and back. If you have to, you can tap it down with a mallet. Just make sure you do lightly, as you don't misalign the front and back. You will use these brown screws. You'll come in from the bottom and screw it up into the wall. Make sure that this is pushed tight so you don't have any gap here. Next, you'll go to the other side, do the same thing, and add the bottom corner stave. It's important to alternate so that it keeps the front and back panel in place and connects it all together. This is what it will look like when all of them are installed. You'll have 3 2x4 corner pieces on each side. You are now ready to start with the side wall panels. You'll see on one side it will say side, and you want to start with the wall panel that has the vent hole in it. It'll say which one's the front and which one's the back. So when we put it on, this will go into the front wall panel. You'll make sure that it sits all the way down to the corner stave. You can already see it goes all the way down. If you need to, you can take a hammer and hammer it down. Then you'll screw the top board in on both sides and then go all the way down in each board. Now you'll take another wall panel and go to the other side. All 3 of these wall panels are the same, so you don't have to worry about mixing them up. So just take one, come to the other side, and do the bottom, same thing as we did on the other side. You can now take both of these panels off, these boards on each side. Take the other 2 wall panels, the side wall panels, and put one on this side and one on the other side to complete both sides of the walls. This is what it will look like with all 4 side wall panels on each side. Once this is finished, you'll now move on to the upper corner 2x4 panels. Start on one side. Each side will have 4 of these going all over the corners. This is what the upper corner will look like when you're done with the 2x4 staves. You're now ready to move on to the roof staves. You'll take the 2x6 boards, put them up against this until you come to the middle. Make sure you don't screw the very top of these roof boards in. As you install the roof boards, you'll come to a point where you see the middle gap. This is where you'll need the final roof centerpiece. It'll come with these 2 pieces. One will already be cut at 1.5 inches, and one that needs to be cut to fit the final gap. So what you need to do first is measure this gap. Right here I have it marked where it starts the round over. On yours, that's where you need to start, is the round over from this roof stave to this roof stave. So as you see here, it's 4.25. And then what you need to do is take this piece, it'll be at 1.5. You take 4.25, subtract 1.5. Again, this is just for this sauna. You have to take your measurement for what yours is. So when you take 4 1/4, subtract 1 1/2, you'll get 2 3/4. You'll mark on this board 2 3/4 here on this side, 2 3/4 on that side, and cut off this side. This concave side is the side you want. Once you make your mark, you'll come to a saw. We're going to use a table saw. If you don't have this, you can use a circular saw, track saw, jigsaw if you have it. If you use those, just make sure you keep marking down this so you get an accurate cut. Now that I made the adjustment cut with my center roof board, I'm going to test the fit in the gap. So you can put these two together, just like that. Put it up to here, and you'll see it'll line up with that board. So it's good to go. Once you test it, you'll now screw it in together. You'll want to make sure this groove is lined up on both sides when you screw it in. That way it fits on the front and back wall. You'll also screw it in from this side that is 1 1/2 inches long. Take these yellow smaller screws, and that's what you'll screw it in. You'll then take this board and you'll set it into place. Lift each of these two boards, and it goes right in. Sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes you'll have to take a mallet, hammer it all the way down. Once it's in place and all the way down, you'll screw in each board into the front and back wall. Now's the time to install the bench. You'll find these two supports labeled bench. One will go on each side against the back wall brace. Place the bench on the supports, and then underneath you'll screw in to the back wall and both side walls. Now take this step and put it on the supports we just installed, and then screw in to both sides of the walls. All right, we're done with the bench and we're done with the steps. So now we're moving on to the outside trim. So what you want to do is get the corner trim pieces. You'll put it on each corner, and then you'll work your way to the long, straight trim boards. All right, once you have the corner pieces screwed on, you grab the straight trim board. And you can either measure this first and then measure the board and cut it. What I like to do is put it on here, line it up with the corner trim board, and then mark the back of it. So then you have your mark, you take it to your chop saw, circular saw, and make the cut. Okay, this is what the trim will look like when you're finished. These boards on the sides are longer, so you use 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. On the top and bottom, you just use 3, 1, 2, 3. Corner boards, you'll use a screw here, here, and in the middle. And then that's what you'll get. Make sure it's all lined up. And then now we'll go to the back. All right, now we're gonna show you how to do all of the accessories. We're gonna start with the vents. Put these in first and then show you the vent cover. After the vents are installed, you won't do it on the bottom one, but the top one, you'll take the vent cover, put it right here, take these finish nails that you get in the box, put it in the top, bottom, left and right side, and take a hammer, nail them in. So another accessory you need is the door handle right here, and then the two large yellow screws. So you'll open it up, and the screw hole's right here. That's where these screws go, and they'll go into this, the back of this. So you want to put the top one in first, and then make sure it's lined up after you put the top one in, and then you can finish doing the bottom. Alright, one of the last accessories you'll do are these two magnets. You'll put the large one on the bottom and then the smaller one on top. And it goes on this trim right here. And then this plate will go on the door. Alright, so this is if you have the additional roof that we supply. You'll have this underlayment that you want to put on first. You want to put it onto the first board, the first 2x6 down, so about right to here. You'll peel this plastic off and make sure it's up against the front trim. So you want to pull away the plastic and then tuck it all the way in the middle. That way this side comes all the way down. All right, once you have the underlayment done, you'll grab these beveled boards. You want to start just below it. Fits right in. Make sure it's the same width from the board on both sides. Right there. Then you'll take your hammer and nails and you'll want to do 5 in each board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you want to do it in the thicker part. All right, you'll then want to work on the corner piece, and so to do that, you just need to place it far enough down so it goes flat. You'll do the same thing, nail on this side. The next board will go on top of that board, and it'll slowly go over the corner. Then you'll repeat on the other side, and then do the roof. All right, this is what it will look like with all the roof boards coming together. When you get to a point where it's like this or almost touching, your final board. You can put it either way, it doesn't matter. Right in the middle. And then you'll nail on both sides, just alternating down the board. And you're good to go.